In this video, we will discuss reviewing and editing corridor sections. If you'd like to follow along with this video, please open the file Review and Edit Corridor Sections.dwg located in the training folder as discussed in the Working with this Dataset video. Corridor modeling gets you about 85 to 95% done with your model. Afterwards, you need to use the section editor to review and edit the sections that you might want to override. First, let's go ahead and select our corridor model. And before we access the section editor, let's navigate to a few of the setup tools. Let's first look at the View Edit options. And in here is where you define all the different settings for the section viewport that will be displayed. Let's set our grid here to No for the horizontal and for the vertical. This will make it a little bit easier to see the corridor model. Notice that you can change any of the other settings that you see here. Let's change our default code set style to a View-Edit, which will hollow out or hide the shape codes. Let's click OK. Next, let's check our viewport configuration, and let's make sure we set our layout to 2 horizontal, where we have the viewport 1 as plan and the viewport 2 as section. Click OK, and now we're ready to go. Click on the Section Editor tool, and as you can see, you get 2 viewports, which define the top view as the plan and the bottom viewport as the section view. Notice the ribbon becomes a contextual ribbon, and we can go in here and select the different baselines and stationing we want to see. We're interested in the first baseline, and let's go ahead and click on this little Browse button right here to kind of get ourselves started to put the section editor inside this view. We'll click on the view here, and now we're near the station we want to be. This is not an exact station value, so you'll notice here you can actually save this as an intermediate station, and Civil 3D will actually use this station as a modeling frequency. We can also just click the next button here, and we're now at an equal station interval. If we just peruse our model, we're just navigating along here. If you look in the plan view here, you'll see a station tracker. You can also select this and move this along the alignment to get it to a station you want to go to. Notice how it updates in the cross-section view automatically. As you're going through the review process, you're going to have edits that you want to make to your model. Civil 3D provides the Parameter Editor tool to make edits and override your corridor model. Let's say, for example, in this area here, we would like to actually override the default -2%, and we're going to super elevate the road to drain down to the right side here. So from station 12 plus 00, we want to start there. We want to actually have it drain here to a specific station range within this area where we're eventually going to have some sort of drainage catch basin of some sort. One of the other things that you can do with the zooming is if we zoom into an area, and let's say we want to make this actually a permanent way of zooming as we peruse the different stationing, you can click on this drop down here and set it to zoom to an offset and elevation instead. That way, when you click next here or previous, notice how it stays in that station offset and elevation. So let's go ahead and change this. Let's navigate to the Parameters Editor. And in this palette here, you'll see that Civil 3D puts them into different categories defining right and left. So we're interested in the left side, and we can minimize the different parts here, which of course are the subassemblies defined in this area. And all we're interested in is the left lane. Scroll down to the default slope where it says -2%. Let's type in 2% instead. Notice how this station will update automatically. This is actually updating the corridor model. Notice a toggle has appeared that says you are overriding the default subassembly. Now, we want to apply this, of course, to multiple stations, so instead of having to do this manually, there's a tool here called Apply to a Station Range. Let's go ahead and click on it. Let's click on the Pick Station button here to actually define it within our alignment. We'll click on this viewport once, and we want to drain this through this transition area. So we'll go ahead and just snap to the endpoint of this line here, and that will be the modeling station. Click OK. To just verify that this has taken place, you can click the next button here to do so. Sometimes Civil 3D will not rebuild the corridor, and it's simply a matter of clicking on Update Corridor to update the corridor model. Note that if you were to rebuild the corridor model, this override would still override the default subassembly through this area. To remove this, you would simply toggle this off, and then it would remove it through that area where it would then go back to the default subassembly slope.